As we all know, we are here today because of the life-saving decision that the Supreme Court made on June the 22nd in the Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Healthcare Organization case. This historic decision simply restored the rights of voters in each state to allow voting citizens to have a say in protecting life. I would like to ask unanimous consent to submit for the record this article that states that 71% of Americans support limits on abortion. It is a Fox News article dated January 20th, 2022.
Without objection.
Thank you. The impact of the Supreme Court decision in Dobbs will now let the American people decide on the issue of abortion. American voters are able to elect representatives that they believe best represent their beliefs, and I believe they will do exactly that. But Democrats have brought us here today to talk about the impact of the Dobbs decision. But the impact is exactly what I just said. So we should do away with this hearing and change the focus to things that citizens really care about, like rising inflation, rising crime, and open borders that are putting the safety and security of our families at risk all across the country in every state. Let me remind you again of the impact of Dobbs. It allows American voters to have a say on abortion. That's all it does. And that's why Democrats are terrified, and that is why we are here today, which leads me to my first question. Ms. Hawley, Democrats seem to think it's a bad thing to let American voters have a say on abortion, as opposed to having the courts say it. If Americans wanted to legalize abortion, wouldn't they simply vote for a majority of candidates into office that would do that? I mean, is it a bad thing to return it to the states? It's not a federal issue, right?
Well, I think we can see the extremeness of the Democratic pro-abortion position when we look at the Women's Health Protection Act. So if we look at that act, it permits abortion up until the moment of birth for any reason. This is a more extreme policy than all but 7 countries in the world, including China and North Korea, countries that have horrendous human rights records. In addition, it allows abortions for any reason, including sex, including race. It supersedes every single state law. So common sense provisions that might require parental notification or that might say there are some safety and health regulations that apply to abortions, those two are gone under this nationally mandated abortion on demand through all 9 months of pregnancy bill.
Thank you. So I think it's much better that it goes back to the states for the people to decide. Ms. Graves, you are the president and CEO of the National Women's Law Center. Is the word abortion, I mean, so you're a lawyer, obviously, probably a very good one.
I hope so.
I would hope so too. Is the word abortion anywhere in the Constitution?
Well, there's lots of words that aren't actually in the Constitution.
I just asked a question, and I just need a yes or no answer, please. Is the word abortion anywhere in the Constitution?
The word abortion is not in the Constitution.
It is not. Thank you very much. Okay, earlier this year, our newest Supreme Court Justice, Ketanji Brown Jackson, was asked what a woman is, and she had a difficult time defining that. Since you are the president of the National Women's Law Center, I was hoping that you could define what a woman is for us in this committee hearing.
Well, as the president of the National Women's Law Center, you can imagine I say woman a lot in my day job.
Okay, so I'm just asking for the definition.
So what I'll tell you is I am a woman. That's how I identify.
Okay.
But I wonder, however, if in part the reason that you're asking a question is that you're trying to suggest that people who
I am
don't
simply asking the question, and I simply want an answer.
And so I think it's actually really important to be very clear here that there are people who identify as non-binary. I think about 5% of young
We're not
people
going to go there. I was hoping maybe you would. I was hoping that maybe you would say something that maybe we learned in high school biology that has to do with X and Y chromosomes, but which define male and female. But I guess we're not going to get there.
Well, I don't think that's the legal question.
I have another question for you. I have another question for you. I saw that in your annual report, you previously received money from groups like Planned Parenthood Action Fund. Are you still receiving funding from Planned Parenthood Action Fund or any other Planned Parenthood affiliate?
Well, I certainly support the leadership and work of Planned Parenthood. The work they're doing right now is hero work. We don't have any grants.
Are you receiving money from them or not?
We don't have grants from Planned Parenthood. but I support the work they do, around this country every
Madam
day.
Chair, I would ask for unanimous consent to submit for the record the annual report of the NWLC, which states a contribution from Planned Parenthood Action Fund.
Without objection.